Chapter 91, Nine-Turn Chicken. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The 10th on the Foundation building list, Li Qingyun, is an inner disciple of the Demon Abyss Palace under the Nine Palaces Dao, and has a cultivation level of the fake pill stage. At this time, he was leading 5 disciples from the Demon Abyss Palace walking in a small hill. There were a total of 7 disciples from the Demon Abyss Palace participating in this event. As a leader in the secret realm, Li Qingyun naturally had to act with several junior brothers. This hill was the information he bought at a high price at the trade fair. It is said that there is a spirit beast called the Nine-Turn Chicken in it, which is a spirit beast loved by almost all cultivators in the cultivation world. It is a food with extremely delicious meat and excellent taste, which is sought after by most people in the cultivation world. In addition, the Nine-Turn Chicken has another effect, which is that it can nourish spiritual power, especially for cultivators with poor spiritual power realm, and Li Qingyun is that kind of cultivator with a poor realm. He has now reached the fake pill realm, but his spiritual power realm is only the realm of spiritual power transformation. Although such a realm is already very good in ordinary sects, it is not very impressive among the inner disciples of the Demon Abyss Palace. Now, almost all of the junior brothers behind him have reached the realm of spiritual power transformation like him. If it weren't for his advantage in skills, he might not be the strongest and lead the team. My junior brothers, after getting the Nine-Turn Chicken, please protect me. I will digest this chicken immediately and go to support senior brother Sunday. Li Qingyun said. Don't worry, senior brother Yi, this chicken will definitely be kept for you. Don't forget what you said when the time comes. Let me play with your concubine furnace for a few days. A junior brother behind him said. Li Qingyun said, my junior brothers, don't worry, Li Qingyun will do what he says. For him, the concubine and the furnace are just toys. It is normal to give them away, but the Nine-Turn Chicken is not the same. It is his treasure for cultivation, and no mistakes are allowed. Suddenly, a strange wind blew, and the concentration of miasma increased greatly. Li Qingyun shouted, my junior brothers, please increase the amount of air-avoiding pills. After going out, I will replenish them for everyone. Li Qingyun, who was hiding nearby, heard this and asked Renyu, what do you mean by increasing the dosage of the air-avoiding pill? Renyu said, you really don't know. Although the air-avoiding pill can block the miasma and prevent it from entering the body, this is already the limit of an air-avoiding pill. So when the concentration of miasma is too high, you need to take a second air-avoiding pill to resist the invasion of miasma. I see. I really don't know which family you are from. Your intelligence is so poor that you don't even know this basic common sense. Renyu scratched his head, but that's right. With your abnormal strength, your strength is not even included in the list. The information of the Jugongdao Chamber of Commerce is really bad. The two of them were talking in a low voice, and they were not aware that Li Qingyun and the others would hear them, because Li Qingyun could feel that Renyu's skill of hiding his tracks was even better than Yang Hai's. After all, it was his specialty. Here it comes, the Nine-Turn Chicken. Hey, it's so ugly. Li Qingyun and the other 6 formed a harmonious formation, confronting a huge monster with a bird-like head and a very long red crown that even hung down behind its long neck. Although the neck was long, it had no hair at all, revealing bare flesh, which reminded Li Qingyun of an old donkey. Then he looked at the body of the Nine-Turn Chicken, which was also dirty and ugly. He thought to himself that this bird was as ugly as an old donkey. Li Qingyun and the others looked at each other and rushed forward. In a blink of an eye, the 9 people and the chicken were fighting. Li Qingyun poked Renyu's shoulder and said, it's your turn. Renyu stood up, walked forward, and muttered, why don't you just kill them all directly? Why do you need me to do it? Li Qingyun took out Renyu's storage ring and said, don't talk nonsense, do as I say, and don't play tricks. Okay. Accompanied by an impatient okay, Renyu rushed into the battle group. Immediately afterwards, Li Qingyun saw Renyu's phantom switching back and forth in the battle group. Renyu used a weird posture to drill in the gaps of the battle, and used all the strength on the weapons of several people in the Demon Abyss Palace with one hand. In the end, Li Qingyun saw that Renyu collected all the weapons of several people together and threw them on the ground. Li Qingyun was furious. It's you. Ren Yu. What are you doing? Do you know what you are doing? Ren Yu curled his thin lips and shrugged. I was also coerced. Someone forced me to do this. Yi Fengyu became even angrier. Who can force you, Ren Yu? You run so fast, who can catch up with you? Bang, a crisp sound, then, bang, 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 5 sounds rang out in a row, and Yi Fengyu and his 5 junior brothers, a group of 6 people, fainted on the ground. The 9-turn chicken stared with its eyes, looking at Li Qingyun, who had just hit it 6 times, in astonishment for 2 seconds, then spread its 2 chicken legs and ran wildly. Don't run. Boom, a flame chased after it. The 9-turn chicken was roasted and the fragrance wafted out in an instant. Ren Yu, cooked. Li Qingyun sniffed. Well, the 9-turn chicken is really as good as its reputation, and it smells so good before the seasoning is added. Li Qingyun's erosion wave perfectly controlled the heat, accurately plucking the feathers in an instant, and roasting the 9-turn chicken evenly. Ren said, wait. After saying this, Ren waved his hand and threw the 6 people into the swamp. Li Qingyun was surprised. Did you kill them? Ren said, they will be sent back to Jiajiagong City. Otherwise, if they stay here, it would be very troublesome if they wake up. Li Qingyun nodded, it makes sense. Li Qingyun didn't feel uncomfortable at all when he robbed Yi Fengyu and the others and took away the 9-turn chicken. First of all, in Yunmengzai, if he wanted to quickly increase his strength, he could only do so quickly by competing with others and robbing others. Accumulation, 7 times. Li Qingyun was a little disgusted with this kind of monks who used female cultivators as their cauldron, so, it was not about killing them, but just teaching them some lessons. Li Qingyun was still very happy. Well done, I'll leave this 9-turn chicken to you. Ren. Is there any connection between this? Li Qingyun, do you need to contact me? Let. Ren looked at Li Qingyun with resentment on his face, and a whole set of spices, condiments, knives, racks appeared in his hands. Li Qingyun's eyes brightened. Ren hummed, when it comes to eating, my brother is a professional. No. Li Qingyun said, didn't you already give me the storage ring? Why did this set of tools appear out of thin air? Ren's hand holding the knife suddenly tightened. The air was still for a moment, and he was left with a sad face. I have work for you, can't you give me some face? Li Qingyun, bring it. Ren was about to cry. He took out a storage bag from his arms and threw it to Li Qingyun. You are really a devil. Li Qingyun said, be good, don't cry, I'll give you chicken later. Chapter 92, Stun. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Although this 9-turn chicken looks ugly, after being processed by Ren Yu, it makes Li Qingyun's appetite grow. The steaming meat is crystal clear, with fat and lean meat, and the ratio of fat to lean meat is about 30 to 70. In addition, there are some milky white tendons with juice, the aroma is fragrant, and saliva is automatically secreted in Li Qingyun's saliva. Ren Yu used a yellow, clean branch to string a piece and handed it to Li Qingyun. Li Qingyun took it and slowly put it into his mouth, but stopped the action in his hand at the moment when the meat was about to reach his mouth. You eat first. Li Qingyun returned the meat to Ren Yu. It's not that Li Qingyun wants to be humble to Ren Yu because he sees Ren Yu working hard, but Li Qingyun is afraid that he will poison him. Ren Yu saw that Li Qingyun can still stay awake and alert in such a relaxing environment and under the temptation of delicious food, and a trace of admiration flashed in his eyes. After taking the meat, he bit off a large piece and started eating, mumbling, are you still afraid that I will poison you? Brother, you know it well. If this poison doesn't kill you, you will kill me. I'm not that stupid. Li Qingyun then ate it with confidence. The roasted 9-turn chicken was divided into several parts by Ren Yu, and different parts were matched with more than a dozen different dipping sauces. He said that this would have a wonderful taste, although Li Qingyun said that Ren Yu was talking nonsense. When he really ate it, he was stunned by Ren Yu's cooking skills. Sun Liang cooked every day in the sect, and his cooking skills were quite good, but compared with Ren Yu, he was still a level behind. Sure enough, the hands that can steal things are also good at cooking. Who is the next target? Li Qingyun tore off a large piece of meat and asked. Ren Yu said vaguely, repeaters. Li Qingyun was stunned. Are the only ones left the repeaters? Not really, it's just that the two in front are too difficult to deal with, so let's not provoke them. Yes, those two perverts are indeed not easy to provoke. Li Qingyun nodded, obviously agreeing with Ren Yu's idea. Yes. Ren Yu seemed to suddenly think of something. By the way, I put the 6 people's air repellent pills into the storage bag just now, you check it out. Li Qingyun's consciousness sneaked into the storage ring and found that there were indeed a bunch of air repellent pills lying in the storage ring. Ding, snatched the air repellent pills of 6 people. These 6 people have experienced 3 robberies before, and a total of 10 people were involved, so it counts as 10 times, task completion progress October 2000. It turns out that it can be calculated this way, so there is no need to rob everyone once, just rob these stronger people a few times, and these 2,000 times should be enough. Ren Yu saw that Li Qingyun seemed a little hesitant, and said, or, we cannot provoke those perverts in the top 10, and set our sights on the 10th to 20th people first. Li Qingyun said, okay, let's see this first. After Yi Fengyu was thrown into the swamp, he was automatically transferred back to the Little Nine Palace City by the Yunmeng secret realm. His life was safe, but this also meant that his first stage of the trial ended in failure, and even all the air-avoiding pills on his body had been robbed. Even if they waited until the second stage, how they could survive in the swamp again would be a problem. At this time, Yi Fengyu was sitting in the mission hall, very depressed, secretly saying that he was unlucky. At the critical moment of the battle, he happened to meet Ren Yu, a pervert. Not only was he ambushed, but even the air-avoiding pills were taken away by this bastard. But, before Yi Fengyu could be depressed for long, a white light flashed, and a big man in a yellow robe appeared in the trading hall. Yi Fengyu looked over and found that he knew this man, the 11th on the foundation building list, Xuanhuan. Xuanhuan landed and pounded the table in frustration, but when he saw Yi Fengyu sitting next to him, his face, which had been a little collapsed, seemed to suddenly ease a little. Brother Xuanhuan, why, did you come out so early? Yi Fengyu looked at Xuanhuan and asked. Xuanhuan touched the back of his head and sighed, don't mention it, I was exploring in a treasure land, and I didn't expect that when you suddenly appeared and attacked me. When I didn't know anything, I was hit in the back of the head, and then I was eliminated. Yi Fengyu was speechless. Brother Xuanhuan. Is this also a hit? Xuanhuan said, isn't it? Wait. Why do you say, also? Yi Fengyu said, to be honest, the 6 of us brothers were hit from the back of the head. Xuanhuan, this. Suddenly, the white light flashed again, and another figure appeared in the hall. This person has white hair and beard, but has an extremely handsome face. He is ranked 13th on the foundation building list, Wan Tianhe. As soon as Wan Tianhe appeared in the hall, he rubbed his head with one hand, pounded his fist on the table with the other hand, and roared, this is too much. Yi Fengyu, were you also hit by a club? Wan Tianhe reached out and touched the back of his head. How did you know? Yi Fengyu and Xuanhuan looked at each other, with an expression as if they had seen a ghost. Then, white light flashed one after another, and from the 10th to the 20th place, except for Xuanhuan who was ranked 12th, who was not eliminated, everyone sat upright in the trading hall. The servants stationed in the trading hall were a little surprised at this time. You know, it has only been a short time since the first stage started, and so many seated players have been eliminated. Moreover, listening to the tone of these eliminated people, they all seem to be knocked unconscious by the same method from the back of the head. These methods seem to be related to one person. That person seems to be, called Ren Yu. The elder who opened the magic circle listened to the discussion in the task hall with interest at this time. While looking at a formation plate in front of him, he raised a curve at the corner of his mouth and muttered to himself, interesting, interesting, this Yunmengs has not had such an interesting thing for many years. Come on, these two little guys, make a bigger fuss. Just when everyone in the trading hall thought that even if Ren Yu's strength has greatly improved, he has eliminated the 10th to 20th seeded players through a sneak attack, and he has made enough nonsense. It's time to end it. The trading hall suddenly began to rumble and vibrate, and the chairs and tables swayed left and right along with the sky guard. Is this, the teleportation array activated? Someone exclaimed, but the next moment, a white light appeared in the mission hall, and at least 50 people descended from the ceiling and appeared in the trading hall. These 50 people had different expressions and different looks, but when they appeared in the mission hall, their hands moved in the same way, they reached out and touched the back of their heads at the same time. Li Qingyun's face was pale, and an absurd but very possible crazy thought appeared in his mind. Could it be that these people were eliminated because they were hit by a club? Chapter 93, Once a word is spoken, it cannot be taken back. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Li Qingyun and Ren Yu were hiding outside a group of extremely dense miasma. This group of miasma was the largest miasma Li Qingyun had seen since entering Yunmeng's Google search reading. After lurking in Yunmeng's for a while, Li Qingyun probably knew that the more dense the miasma, the more precious the treasures that appeared. The miasma fluctuations at this time were several times larger than when Li Qingyun caught the 9-turn chicken. I think the things inside must be much rarer than the 9-turn chicken. No wonder the 6th, 7th, and 8th on the foundation building list are all gathered here. It turns out there are good things. Ren Yu muttered. These are all repeaters. I have never come into contact with repeaters. Li Qingyun's voice was a little worried. Ren Yu said, the repeaters have a more solid foundation, but apart from a higher accumulation of spiritual energy, no other obvious advantages, no matter how strong their combat awareness is, how deep their cultivation level is, how powerful their spiritual power is, and how many magic weapons they have no other obvious advantages. Li Qingyun smiled, there is no advantage. Ren Yu said, these people were originally geniuses from various families and sects, but for a certain opportunity, they wasted at least 50 years of their time. With their talents, if they practiced normally for 50 years, they would at least be peak Jindan cultivators now. So, in the past 15 years, except for the formation of Dan, these people have used almost all other means. Therefore, they are almost invincible in the same realm. Ren Yu looked at Li Qingyun and said, I said this to remind you that they may still not be your opponent, but don't underestimate them. After so many years of obsession, at the critical moment, you don't know what they will do to surprise you. As he spoke, the battle in the miasma had come to an end. Ren Yu screamed and rushed forward. This was the best time to launch a sneak attack. The battle was about to end, and the treasure was about to be obtained. The several people who joined forces were about to change from a cooperative relationship to a competitive relationship. While being vigilant to each other, they were at their lowest defense against this sudden attacker. Ren Yu grasped the timing very well. He subdued one person with one move, and then the weapon of another person was taken down, but at this moment, an unexpected scene happened. The miasma that the three people were originally dealing with was a golden leopard. Originally, the leopard's breath gradually weakened under the joint attack of the three people. Even Li Qingyun and Ren Yu thought that the leopard was going to be taken down by the three people. Unexpectedly, the leopard saw someone intervene and felt that there was hope for escape. It suddenly jumped up again, roared, and stretched out its claws to attack Ren Yu. At this time, Ren Yu had taken down the weapons of two people and was entangled with the third one. The leopard was obviously crazy, and it didn't recognize any relatives. The attack was actually directed at Ren Yu. This series of actions happened in a short moment. At this time, Ren Yu had just succeeded in sneak attacking two people. His speed was extremely fast, so the first two people had no reaction at all. But after the two, his moves were old, and he did not even take the third person's weapon. He had to confront the third person to attract his attention. At this time, he felt that the leopard behind him actually slapped his claws at him. It was a close call, but there was a wolf in front and a tiger behind, and he could not dodge at all. He was so scared that his hair stood on end, and he shouted hoarsely, "Hurry up!" Bang! Bang! There were only 2 stuns. Then, Ren Yu felt that he was suddenly pulled out from between the leopard and the third person, and then, the leopard's claws slapped the third person. All 3 screamed, turned into white light, and were eliminated. Li Qingyun clapped his hands. The repeater is just like this. Ren Yu glared, isn't it because my brother is in front of you to attract firepower? Otherwise, how could you succeed? Li Qingyun ignored Ren Yu and turned to look at the leopard. At this time, the leopard was lying on the ground with 4 limbs, making a whimpering sound, begging for mercy from Li Qingyun. Ren Yu said unconvincedly, "Why does this leopard grab me like it's not worth its life when it sees me, but becomes like a grandson when it sees you?" Li Qingyun said, "Maybe it's its temperament." Ren Yu snorted disdainfully, obviously not believing Li Qingyun's nonsense. Li Qingyun also had some guesses in his heart. Why is this leopard so afraid of me? Could it be the breath of the flawless Taoist foundation? You were almost eliminated just now, you worked so hard. Li Qingyun suddenly said. Ren Yu looked at Li Qingyun vigilantly. Why did this demon suddenly care about me? I can't let you work for me for nothing, I'll give you this leopard. Li Qingyun said. Ren Yu looked at Li Qingyun suspiciously. Do you want money? I don't have any money. I don't have any storage space to store money. Li Qingyun said, no money, I'll give it to you for free. Ren Yu circled Li Qingyun and muttered, it shouldn't be. Are you trying to bribe me? Li Qingyun touched his chin and said expressionlessly, it's like bribing you. Well, I'm going to use a master recognition contract on this leopard now. Ren Yu said. It's in my storage space. I'll teach you how to open the storage space. You help me take it out. Li Qingyun raised his eyebrows and followed Ren Yu's formula. His consciousness sneaked into Ren Yu's storage space, took out a scroll from it, and handed it to Ren Yu. I didn't expect you to have such a rich fortune. Li Qingyun smiled. Ren Yu took the scroll and led the leopard, seeming to be thinking about something, but suddenly he seemed to think of something, took out a storage bag from his body and handed it to Li Qingyun. This is the 3 people's air-avoiding pills, I put them in this storage bag, empty storage bag. Robbery progress plus 60, current progress 200/2000. These 3 repeaters are obviously also good at robbery. The system gave him 60 robbery progress, which means that these 3 people actually robbed 57 people's air-avoiding pills. However, this progress is far from enough. The first stage of the trial only lasts for 1 day, and now half of it has passed, but the progress has only been completed by 1/10. Why are you frowning? Do you regret it? Ren Yu suddenly appeared in front of Li Qingyun, interrupting his thoughts and scaring him. He, it's too late to regret. Ren Yu said proudly, I have completed the master recognition contract with it. This Lingyan leopard will be my exclusive mount in the future. You can't get it back even if you want it. That means it will always follow you and be loyal to you in the future. Ren Yu rubbed the big leopard head of Lingyan leopard and said proudly, of course. Then I'm relieved. Li Qingyun's expression relaxed, as if he really let go of something he was worried about, and added, you just told me not to regret it, so don't regret it either. Ren Yu blinked his eyes and looked at Li Qingyun like a fool. Brother, how can I regret it when I get such a big advantage? Li Qingyun touched his chin. Promise not to regret it. Ren Yu suddenly alerted and said, you won't regret it, right? I don't have money, don't cheat, I just said it was free. Li Qingyun said, I don't regret it. Ren Yu said, then let's high-five and swear, whoever regrets is a turtle bastard. Li Qingyun widened his eyes, his face full of surprise, and seemed a little unwilling. Ren stretched out his hand and urged, hurry up. A real man, once you say something, you can't go back on it. The 2 palms hit each other, both of them smiled happily. If someone familiar with Li Qingyun, such as Yang Hai Aoshue or Yi Xiaoyu, were here, they would definitely know that Li Qingyun's frequent chin-touching expression indicated that he was going to cheat someone. Chapter 94 The Elders. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the trading hall, the 3 people who had just been eliminated by Li Qingyun caused a commotion as soon as they appeared. Google search reading. Those 3 people look like repeaters. How come they came out before the end? Yes, repeaters are rarely eliminated in the middle of the game. Hey, stop talking. Maybe there will be some big changes this time. Haven't you seen that at least 60 or 70 people have been eliminated? This has never happened before. The 3 people ignored the discussions of the people around them and sat together by themselves, as if summarizing something. Others only dared to discuss because they didn't understand repeaters, and they were not strong enough. They were full of doubts but didn't dare to talk to them rashly. Li Qingyun and the other two on the side were different. They were all cultivators ranked high on the foundation building list, so they naturally had the confidence to talk to the three repeaters. My name is Li Qingyun. May I ask what happened to you three? Li Qingyun walked up and asked the three people. The three were led by a man in black. Li Qingyun recognized him. He was ranked 6th on the foundation building list. Huliang looked up at Li Qingyun, stood up and said, it turned out to be Taoist fellow Li Qingyun of the Demon Abyss Palace. It's embarrassing to say that the three of us joined forces to find a monster, but we didn't expect to be attacked by Ren Yu at a critical moment. Then the monster started to go crazy. The three of us were defeated and eliminated. It's Ren Yu again. Li Qingyun looked at Xuanhuan and Wan Tianhe behind him. May I ask, fellow Taoist did you receive a heavy blow to the head when you were eliminated? That Huliang widened his eyes, exchanged glances with his three companions, and asked in surprise, how did you know this? This. Li Qingyun pointed at the 60 or 70 people in the mission hall and said, all of us may have been killed by the same person. Before he finished speaking, the mission hall shone brightly again, and the entire space vibrated. A group of people appeared in the hall again at an extremely fast speed, and this group of people, without exception, all subconsciously covered the back of their heads with their hands. Huliang opened his mouth and said in disbelief, could it be, that nearly 100 people were also eliminated by that one person? But, isn't the first stage the time to collect treasures? It's not the time to compete with each other yet. Huliang thought that he had entered Yunmeng's for the second time and had enough experience, but faced with this situation, he was a little at a loss. Li Qingyun said, not only that, this bastard has a very clear purpose. He only robbed the qi-avoiding pill and was not interested in other treasures at all. He doesn't play by the rules at all. Indeed, everyone was scattered at the outermost edge of Yunmeng's in the first stage. It should have been a stage of peaceful development for each cultivator. The strong would generally look for genius treasures at this time and would not purge the weak. The weak can also take this opportunity to find some opportunities. Li Qingyun also realized this. In order to prevent these people from getting nothing, when facing people with weak strength, he would wait for the other party to succeed before snatching the qi-avoiding pill. In this way, the other party can get the benefit and he can also get the pill. When dealing with masters like repeaters, Li Qingyun will not hold back at all. After all, opportunities need to be fought for by oneself. Their strength can even threaten Li Qingyun, so there is no need for Li Qingyun to hold back. In a cruel world, it is enough to be a little kind to the weak. There is no need for kindness to competitive opponents. I thought there was something good. Ran muttered, just now, nearly 100 people gathered in this area. Li Qingyun thought that some super treasures would appear, so he waited here, but he didn't expect that he eliminated all the people and didn't find any treasures. It seems that these people just happened to gather together. Li Qingyun said. Ren Yu looked at Li Qingyun and said, I have always wanted to ask you a question. Go ahead. Why did you eliminate the 6th to 20th, but only let Xuanhuan go? Are you familiar with him? Ren Yu asked. I thought you were going to ask me something. This. I am not familiar with him. I even have a grudge against him. As for the purpose, you will know after the first stage is over. Li Qingyun smiled, with a secretive look. Seeing this, Ren Yu didn't know how to ask further, so he said, do you think that the two of us eliminating so many people will be noticed by the elders of Jiugongdao, and then they will be angry and embarrass us? Li Qingyun said, no, as the administrator of the sect, no one likes to watch the excitement of the disciples more than them. Maybe they are watching us and watching the excitement. Okay, let's continue, and try to eliminate 500 people before the end of the first stage. At the same time that Li Qingyun said this, outside the secret realm of Yunmeng's, in an unknown secret room, just as Li Qingyun said, the elders of Jiugongdao were walking around the place, watching Li Qingyun and Ran robbing everywhere. It's hard to say, they are watching us and watching the fun. When these elders heard Li Qingyun's words, they all showed strange expressions on their faces. A Taoist who was tall, handsome, and had a beautiful black and thick beard, smiled, "Oh, this kid, he is quite rampant." According to the cleaning speed of these two disciples, at least 600 disciples will be eliminated after the first stage, and the resources obtained by these 600 disciples will be reduced by 50% compared to the last time the secret realm was opened. A beautiful girl standing behind the Taoist said, as if reminding the Taoist something. "Yes, these two guys don't know the rules. How can those weak cultivators survive?" A middle-aged female cultivator looked at the handsome Taoist and expressed a different opinion. The Taoist said nonchalantly, "You are all too soft-hearted. You know that when the secret realm was just established, dying trialists would not be rescued. Those with insufficient strength would only die. Anyone who entered the secret realm would be a life-and-death enemy. Later, the secret realm changed the rule to no casualties, and I strongly opposed it. But even so, the secret realm opens every 50 years, and for these trialists, it is also a competition for cultivation opportunities. Then, the law of the jungle is the eternal rule." As soon as these words came out, the beautiful girl standing behind him seemed to understand something and looked at Li Qingyun in the picture again. "Well said." A thin old man in a dark green Taoist robe standing on the side praised, "Fellow Taoist Ren, what you said is very true to my heart, wonderful. Practicing Taoism is to go against the will of heaven. If a cultivator does not have a little arrogance and banditry, how can he achieve great things? These two guys are full of banditry, and their future achievements will be limitless. Fellow Taoist Shah, you are too kind." The Taoist said modestly, "Banditry actually represents vitality and high-spirited enterprising spirit, so it is said that banditry is rare. However, banditry can exist, but thief spirit is not. Even if Ren is full of thief spirit, he is not full of vitality. In comparison, the other boy is very energetic. It's just. Speaking of which, this boy was smuggled in." Chapter 95 Bastard. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Smuggled in? Another elder asked in shock. Google search reading. "I couldn't find any information about him, so he came in smuggled in," the man said. "Could it be that he is a disciple sent in by someone powerful? This possibility cannot be ruled out." The old man in green said, "It must have been done by a powerful person, otherwise, how could a foundation-building monk have the ability to enter the secret realm of your 9 palaces?" "That's right." The elder said, "But since it was done by a powerful person, it's hard for us to speculate." Ren Taoist said, "The Yunmeng secret realm is originally an opportunity for low-level monks. No matter where the monk is from or what his purpose is, as long as he has the token in hand, he can enter the secret realm. So, no matter where he comes from, since he has entered the secret realm, we must treat him equally." Taoist Ren looked at the elders present, "Therefore, if he fulfills his requirements in the future, we should also give him the benefits he deserves in accordance with the rules." "That's natural. Don't worry, Palace Master, we will act impartially." The snatching progress +3, the current progress is 568/2000. The first phase of the trial is coming to an end, and Li Qingyun has completed about a quarter of the progress. Ren said, "Maybe there are 300 disciples eliminated by us, right?" Li Qingyun looked at the air-avoiding pills in the storage jade pendant. They were piled up like a hill in the storage jade pendant. After counting, there are a total of 20,000 chi-avoiding pills. The standard equipment for each person entering the secret realm is 50 air-avoiding pills. If one of them is not used, it is also a quota of 400 people. According to the 568 progress given by the system, it is likely that 568 people participated in the contribution of the 20,000 chi-avoiding pills, so it was counted as 568 times. The 2 of them actually came from more than half of the people who looted all the trials. The first stage was about to end. The 2 of them sat on a rock, waiting for the trial to end and be teleported back to Jiugong City. The first stage is coming to an end, and the 9 palaces list should be released soon. Let's go out and take a look later. Ren said. What is the 9 palaces list? Li Qingyun asked. You don't even know this? Ren Ren looked at Li Qingyun with surprise on his face, but seeing that Li Qingyun really didn't know, he explained. Although this Yunmeng secret realm is for low-level monks to practice and hone, it is also for the purpose of selecting talents. For example, Xuanhuan Zhenren, who ranks first on the foundation list, joined Zhuogong Dao as early as the first time. I remember it was the Demon Abyss Palace, one of the 9 palaces. His purpose this time is to form an elixir into a purple elixir in the golden elixir pool. People like him who have stayed in the false elixir stage for more than 100 years will quickly break through in cultivation after forming elixirs. Perhaps they can directly reach the late stage of the golden elixir. Or even the peak of Jindan, and will quickly catch up with his peers. When he first entered Yunmeng at the age of 20, he was selected by the elders of the 9 palaces through the 9 palaces ranking. This list will count the outstanding testers. If you have made any outstanding achievements, your name will be recorded on the 9 palaces list, and then the elders in each palace of the 9 palaces will come to select disciples. Of course, other sects will come to observe. When the time comes, if you are favored by other sects and it is a sect of the same level as Zhuogong Dao, it is also a good choice to go to other sections. Li Qingyun nodded. Sure enough, Yi Xiaoyu entered the Yunmeng secret realm with the purpose of joining the Qinghuan Palace. It seems that either Qinghuan Palace is more powerful than Zhuogong Dao, or Qinghuan Palace is more suitable for Xiaoyu than Zhuogong Dao. Not knowing what he was thinking of, Li Qingyun asked Ren Ran with a strange expression, "So, there must be a lot of people near Zhugongbang, right?" Ren Ran said, "Yes. Most of the monks who are undergoing the foundation establishment trial will be near the 9 palaces list, right?" Ren Ran looked at Li Qingyun who was touching his chin, and had a bad feeling. "Yeah, is there any problem?" "Fine." While the two were talking, a wave of waves suddenly enveloped them. The first phase of the trial is over, everyone will be teleported back to the city. The formation was activated, white light flashed, and the two of them were teleported back to Zhuogong City. When the formation was activated, Ren Ren seemed to touch Li Qingyun inadvertently, and an imperceptible smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, but Li Qingyun was concentrating on looking at the formation, as if he was not aware of it. At the same time, the people in the trading hall who were originally at a loss were also dispersed and teleported to Jiagong City following the fluctuation. With the end of the disciple trials in the Qi training stage trial area, the foundation building stage trial area, and the golden elixir stage trial area, in the sky above Jiagong City, which is hundreds of miles in radius, a huge stone carrying endless power cut through the sky, fell from the sky, and landed in the center of Jiagong City. It's the 9 palaces list. The 9 palaces list is here. Go and have a look. Someone familiar with the rules of Yunmeng's secret realm shouted. The rock was very huge. Everyone in the city saw the stone landing and moved closer to the center of the city. They all wanted to see the true appearance of the 9 palaces list, and they wanted to know who the geniuses were on the 9 palaces list. Woolen cloth. A black rock stood between several high-rise buildings in the center of Jiagong City. The rock was dozens of feet high. There were large characters written on it, which were obviously the names of the testers. Everyone quickly gathered in front of the 9 palaces list and looked up at the names of various geniuses carved on the stone. Li Qingyun was also among them, scanning the names on the 9 palaces list, and found that the names on it were basically the same as the names on the booklet that the servant gave him, but there were many fewer. On the Jindan list, he only noticed Zhang Tianyi, 3 human-level 9th-grade spiritual medicines, defeated 3 Yuanying peak monsters. Next, the Foundation Establishment list, from top to bottom. Huanyuan Zhenren, 20 human-level 6th-grade spiritual medicines, defeated 20 Jindan peak monsters. Sun Tianyuan, 10 human-level 5th-grade spiritual medicines, defeated 10 Jindan late-stage monsters. Further down, they were all about collecting spiritual medicines and defeating the guardian spiritual medicine monsters, but there were only 5 people on the list in total, that is to say, among the top 20, except for the 5th to 20th places that were snatched by Li Qingyun. Almost all the others were on the list. Every year is worse than the previous year. 50 years ago, there were at least 20 people on the foundation establishment list, but now there are only 5 people, tut tut. Someone said, and this person obviously saw that the number of people on the Foundation establishment list was too small. Wait. I'm not on the list yet. Someone suddenly spoke, attracting the attention of the people around. A young man in a white robe stood proudly in the middle of the crowd. I am Xuanhuan, the spoils of war, 50 human-level 4th grade spiritual medicines. Feeling the envious eyes of the people around him, Xuanhuan felt even more proud. This was the spiritual medicine he got by using a trick, so he came out a little late this time, and the 9 palaces list didn't have time to record his name in time. As Xuanhuan finished speaking, the 9 palaces list appeared. Xuanhuan robbed other trial participants and obtained 50 human-level 4th grade spiritual medicines. With the appearance of this information, the noisy discussions of the people around stopped, and they looked at Xuanhuan with an extremely strange look. Xuanhuan said, "Why, what? There is no robbery in the secret realm, right? Of course it is allowed." A person said behind the crowd made way for the speaker, and it was the people who had been robbed by Li Qingyun and his group. Xuanhuan looked at Li Qingyun and his group. Li Qingyun, Zhang Hong, Wan Tianhe, what do you mean? Li Qingyun said, what do we mean? Zhang Hong sneered, does it feel good to be hit by a club? A chill rose from Xuanhuan's back. He saw 3 people standing behind Li Qingyun with eyes like wild beasts. This is repeater. There must be a misunderstanding. Xuanhuan looked at the postures of these people and defended himself with a hoarse voice. Oh. Li Qingyun said, so you don't know Renyu either. Xuanhuan said, Renyu. I don't know him. Buzz, before Xuanhuan finished speaking, the 9 palaces list suddenly shone brightly, and another line of handwriting appeared. Renyu robbed other trialists, obtained a Lingyan leopard, and 20,000 chi-avoiding pills. Hiss, when this message came out, all the trialists present took a breath of cold air. How could this 20,000 pills be done? Li Qingyun sneered at Xuanhuan, what else do you have to say? If you don't know Renyu, how come the format of the list is the same? From the 5th to the 20th on the Foundation building list, why are you and Renyu the only ones who have not been eliminated? Xuanhuan, At this time, a stream of light, carrying a huge sound of breaking through the air, flew out from the crowd. In the stream of light was Renyu, who was sitting on the Lingyan leopard. Following Renyu were the 3 repeaters who had been attacked by Renyu. Liar. 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 Renyu finally knew why Li Qingyun wanted to give him this Lingyan leopard. Damn it. Whoever rides the leopard will be exposed. And I just stole my own storage ring, but who knew that this bastard actually put the air-avoiding pill in this ring? He must have expected that I would steal this ring back and deliberately messed with me. Asshole. Chapter 96, Taking Action. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Master, why are those people chasing that leopard? Ping An's little finger pointed at Ren, who was running wildly in the sky, and asked Li Qingyun. Google search reading. Li Qingyun rubbed Ping An's head, they are chasing the people on the leopard. Ping An asked, why? Li Qingyun thought for a while and said seriously, because this person on leopard took too many people's chi-avoiding pills, so it caused public outrage, kindness. Safety. What's wrong with you? As soon as he explained to Ping An, Li Qingyun saw that the originally smug expression on Ping An's face suddenly froze, his eyes widened, his mouth grinned, and he looked at Li Qingyun pitifully. Master, will you be chased and beaten by so many people if you steal someone else's chi avoidance pill? Li Qingyun's expression suddenly froze, could it be? Ping An lowered his head, glanced up at Li Qingyun with his dark eyes, frowned, and nodded. He looked at Sun Liang again, and Sun Liang nodded. Li Qingyun was stunned. In the sky, Ren was still being chased back and forth by a group of people, but the group seemed unable to catch up with him for the moment and could only hear him yelling in the sky. It really wasn't me. Someone is instigating me behind my back. Let me go. I'm a super Taoist, you can't catch me. Ping An aggrievedly handed the storage ring to Li Qingyun. I didn't rob much, I just robbed more than 100 people. Li Qingyun. At this time, the 9 palaces list was shaken again, and the list for the Qi training period also appeared. Yi Xiaoyu, 103rd grade human elixirs, kills 70 monsters in the late stage of Foundation establishment, and 30 monsters in the middle stage of Foundation establishment. Look further down. 2 nameless ones, 21st grade human level elixirs, killed 20 demonic beasts in the early stage of Foundation establishment, robbed other trialists, and obtained 5,000 Qi avoiding elixirs. Li Qingyun patted his chest and breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, because the 3 people were smuggled over by the system, there is currently no information on the 3 people in the secret realm. The 2 of them are only called the Nameless Ones. Furthermore, although these 2 young masters are quite similar to him, they are not strong enough and are still a little behind his master. During the Qi refining period, there were nearly 2,000 people who tried, and only over 100 were robbed, which was not a big problem. If you really robbed more than half of the people, it would be really hard to say. Li Qingyun looked up at the sky. Most of Ren's spiritual power had been consumed. If he continued, he would definitely be caught by those people. Although people in Zhogong Dao could not kill people, such a group of people could still drink a pot of Ren. It's almost time, it's time to play. Ren never thought that he would be chased by so many people with gnashing teeth. At this time, the people chasing him were no longer the 3 resurgents at the beginning. Ren had robbed him in the first stage of the trial. All of them were chasing him from behind. Please let me go, I'm really being used. Ren begged for mercy again. The repeater who was closely chasing behind him and ranked 6th on the Foundation building list replied, then tell me, who is the person who is using you? What is his name? I don't know his name. Li Qingyun never told Ren his name. Asshole. The reverter yelled and suddenly increased his speed, obviously not believing in this rhetoric. Ren screamed and suddenly changed direction downwards, intending to escape the pursuit of the resurgent, but a figure rushed towards me. This figure was exactly the one Ren had been thinking about and gnashing his teeth at just now. Asshole. This bastard. How dare you show up? Ren gritted his teeth and bumped into Li Qingyun, not because he was angry, but because the distance between the 2 at this time no longer allowed him to change direction. Okay, I'll give you a hard bump to show you that I can be bloody no matter what I do. Yes. I have the guts to do whatever I want, otherwise I would be looked down upon by you as a bastard all the time. Thinking of this, he closed his eyes and slammed into Li Qingyun with the power of diving from above. The expected violent impact did not happen. Ren opened his eyes and found in despair that he was like a little chicken, being held in Li Qingyun's hand. Ren rolled his eyes and fainted. I know you're not unconscious. A voice rang in Ren's ears. Although the current situation will make you very embarrassed, pretending to be unconscious is also an effective and good escape method, but I suggest you not to do this, because if you do, I will hand you over to them. Ren collapsed and complained crazily in his heart. How come you know everything? You have said everything. You also know that I am embarrassed. You still force me. I don't want to lose face. Ren is a bloody person. Li Qingyun mentioned letting it go and pretended to throw it out. Letting his eyelids tremble, he opened his eyes and looked at Li Qingyun. Brother, save me. Li Qingyun said, very good, now, cooperate with me, do you understand? Ren turned his head and looked at the hundreds of people surrounding him, his throat rolled with difficulty, and he said, understood. Li Qingyun turned his head and looked at the hundreds of people in front of him. Seeing that Li Qingyun had captured Ren as soon as he made a move, the resurrector did not dare to act rashly and asked, fellow Taoist, please hand over Ren, and we will deal with this beast together. Ren thought, this is terrible. No matter how strong this guy is, he can't fight hundreds of people alone. It seems that he is destined to fall into the hands of this group of people today. If he doesn't die, he will be skinned alive. But then, Li Qingyun said something that stunned Ren. I think the mastermind behind Ren should be dealt with, not Ren. Ren is just being used as a gun. Ren suspected that he had heard it wrong. He thought, isn't the mastermind behind the scenes you yourself? Is he willing to expose himself to save me and prevent me from being beaten? Bah! This bastard! How is it possible? The repeater asked, who dares to instruct Renyu? Who is the mastermind behind the scenes? His name is Hu Liang. He is the third person who was eliminated by Ling Yanbao's claws at a critical moment. At that time, he vaguely felt the emergence of the third breath, but he couldn't be sure who that breath was. Therefore, he also suspected that someone had joined forces with Renyu, so he believed the mastermind behind the scenes mentioned by Renyu and Li Qingyun. I was also attacked by Renyu, but Renyu is best at entanglement and subtle attacks. I don't think Renyu would attack the back of the head from behind and hit me with a club. After this, hundreds of people, including Hu Liang, nodded slightly. It makes sense. There was someone else who attacked from behind, and I have seen that person's aura. Who? Li Qingyun picked up Renyu, looked at him, and said in a ferocious tone. That person is Xuanhuan, right? Ah. Renyu widened his eyes and stared at Li Qingyun blankly. Li Qingyun pinched Renyu's shoulder hard. Didn't you hear clearly? I said, your mastermind behind the scenes is Xuanhuan, right? Ah. Renyu exclaimed in extreme surprise. How did you know? It's him. It's Xuanhuan. This bastard not only forced me to snatch everyone's air-avoiding pills, but also deliberately put the air-avoiding pills on me before the end of the first stage to frame me. He is a bastard. Turtle bastard. Renyu became more and more involved in what he said, and finally he started to accuse with tears in his eyes. Li Qingyun's face twitched, and the hand pinching Renyu's shoulder could not help but increase the strength, and soon, Renyu started to howl like a ghost. Chapter 97 Stage 2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Everyone was shocked, but soon someone realized it. Yes. It's Xuanhuan. From the 5th to the 20th on the Foundation building list, only he and Renyu have not been eliminated. Yes, the 9 palaces list also shows that he got the elixir by robbery. I think what Renyu said is true. It was Xuanhuan who did it. Hu Liang said in a deep voice, go back to the city and catch Xuanhuan. Then, he turned to look at Li Qingyun and said with a fist, thank you for your help. I will leave Renyu to you. After saying this, he turned around and left. Wait. Li Qingyun called Hu Liang and Hu Liang stopped. You have to take the air-avoiding pills away. Li Qingyun looked at Renyu, hand them over, and let this gentleman distribute them to everyone. Renyu was full of doubts. Li Qingyun said, I asked you to hand over the air-avoiding pills and give them back to everyone. After all, everyone needs air-avoiding pills to shield the miasma in the second stage. Oh. Renyu responded and handed over a storage ring. Li Qingyun took it and handed it to the serious-looking repeater in front of him. Then I'll leave Xuanhuan and the air-avoiding pill to you. Hu Liang nodded deeply and looked at Li Qingyun with admiration. Your Excellency is noble and upright. I admire you very much. I will not fail in my mission and return the stolen goods to everyone in full. Goodbye. Li Qingyun watched the repeater leave, sighed, and thought, I don't want to return it either, but if I don't return it, when will my looting progress reach 2000? I must go back and rob again. Ran saw that everyone else had left, and he had the idea of rushing up and dying with Li Qingyun, but this idea was suppressed by himself in an instant, because there was a high probability that he would die in vain. Alas, he was still not a very brave person. Li Qingyun looked at Renyu with resentment and said, don't be like this. I didn't give you any benefits. Didn't you take this Lingyan leopard for free? Ah. I'll fight you. When Lingyan leopard was mentioned, Renyu couldn't bear it any more and rushed forward to fight Li Qingyun to the death. Without this leopard, he wouldn't have been discovered so quickly. 3 hours later, the trade fair. At this time, everyone's expression was very calm, with a kind of satisfaction in the calm, as if the turmoil that just filled the city had settled. Li Qingyun knew that the 20,000 air-avoiding pills should have been returned to their original owners. These people took back what belonged to them, and experienced such a big storm. Although they lost some treasures in the first stage, after they went out, this experience was also a capital for bragging. I think the two offset each other, and it is not too difficult to accept. After all, compared with the first stage, the second stage is the highlight. It can be seen from the 9 palaces list that in the first stage, the main targets of those on the list were all spiritual medicines, and it was because of spiritual medicines that they fought with the monsters guarding the spiritual medicines, and were recorded by the 9 palaces list. In the second stage, the highlight is the stones containing various spiritual powers and attributes, which are called strange stones. These things are precious materials for refining tools and alchemy, and are usually much more precious than the spiritual medicines in the first stage. Therefore, for most trialists, the second stage is the most important for them. As for the third stage, they will sell the air-avoiding pills in their hands before the third stage begins, and will not enter the third stage, because the third stage is just a competition between super geniuses, and most of them can only be cannon fodder if they enter. Li Qingyun was a little distracted. Sun Liang has reached the great perfection of qi training, and his foundation is very solid, and his breath is harmonious. I think he can directly break through to the foundation. After Pingyan came out of the first stage, he also reached the 12th level of qi training. Pingyan has a good talent and a solid foundation, and can also directly break through to the foundation. As long as the two of them enter the marrow washing pool in the third stage and eat the pills he gave them, they will definitely be able to condense a supergrade foundation. Li Qingyun asked his 2 disciples, and they both said that they had not seen Yi Xiaoyu. He also looked for Yi Xiaoyu in Shaozhugong City, but he did not find him. Although Shaozhugong City is very large and there are many people, it is expected that he could not find him, and blindly looking for him is also a bit stupid, but in any case, not meeting him is indeed a bit unhappy. While Li Qingyun was thinking about it, the trade fair had already begun, and trading information began to appear on the magic circle. The trace of Blue's silver stone was found, and there was a late Jindan strange beast guarding it. Recruiting 2 Taoist friends in the top 100 of the foundation building list to go together, or selling information for 100 qi-avoiding pills. Strange beasts. Li Qingyun also learned about it from the booklet given to him by the errand boy. This is a strange creature with a different form from the demon beast, but it is not very intelligent. Because it guards and devours strange stones, it is called a strange beast. Qinggang stone. 3-color stone. The first few messages were all normal information about strange stones and information about recruiting teammates, but looking down, the information made Li Qingyun a little surprised. Recruiting fellow Taoists to accompany us to prevent being robbed. Travel together to fight against bandits. Sincerely invite fellow Taoists in the top 50 of the foundation building list to move forward together and strive to eliminate the bandits, and at least protect themselves. Li Qingyun was surprised. Are these people afraid of being robbed? It seems that it will be difficult to deal with it next. Suddenly, he turned his head and searched the crowd rapidly, trying to find the first-ranked Xuanhuan Zhenren and Sun Tianyuan. This pair of perverted opponents ranked first and second did not show up in the previous stage. In the second stage, the area is reduced, so there should be big moves, but unfortunately, Li Qingyun searched back and forth several times, but he couldn't figure out who was Xuanhuan Taoist and who was Sun Tianyuan. He saw Xuanhuan instead. At this time, Xuanhuan's originally neat robe was a little messy, his originally neat hair was now scattered, and his 2 eyes were symmetrically bruised with 2 big bags. At this time, holding the token, I don't know what task is being issued. Li Qingyun looked up. 3,000 low-grade spirit stones per unit price, looking for the air-avoiding pill. Sincerely invite the top 30 Taoists on the foundation building list to investigate together who is the real culprit who allowed the robbery. Looking at Xuanhuan's bitter and vengeful expression, Li Qingyun fell into deep thought. It seems that Xuanhuan's air-avoiding pill was taken away by the angry crowd, and he was in extreme anger at being wronged. Li Qingyun thought of Xuanhuan's special care for him in his sect last time, and thought, such a good person, I have to find a way to comfort him. So, Li Qingyun took out the token and began to put the qi-avoiding pill into the token. 6,000 spirit stones for 1. Anyway, I don't need the qi-avoiding pill, this money is not worth it. 1, 2, 3. Li Qingyun put the qi-avoiding pill very quickly, as if he was in a hurry. When he put the 21st one, the task suddenly disappeared. At this time, Xuanhuan, who was originally bitter and vengeful, changed his face, from white to red, from red to purple, from purple to green. All his wealth, 60,000 spirit stones, disappeared in a short time. He only said that he would buy one for 3,000, and didn't say how much, but Xuanhuan's eyes went dark. Who would have thought that such a life-saving pill would really be sold 20 at a time? Chapter 98, Bloody. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Li Qingyun did not make any transactions at the trade fair after all, and the second stage began. Google search reading. Unlike the first stage, the swamps in the second stage are still flooded with filthy miasma like the first stage, but the moisture is obviously much less, and sometimes very dry ground will be exposed. Li Qingyun knows that the miasma in the second stage is several times more dense than that in the first stage, because the efficiency of the ghost spirit pearl in absorbing miasma has increased a lot, which means that the miasma content in the second stage is indeed deeper. And the power consumption of other trialists for the air-avoiding pill will definitely increase as a result. Of course, after the first stage, most trialists will use the spiritual medicine obtained from the first stage to exchange for the air-avoiding pill from the Jiugongdao Chamber of Commerce, so most people still have enough air-avoiding pills. After a day of absorbing miasma in the first stage, the sixth inscription has deepened a lot. Li Qingyun feels that the 6 inscriptions of the Ghost Spirit Pearl at this time are different from the state he just engraved, and are obviously strengthened a lot, and he also made an amazing discovery. The Ghost Spirit Pearl would actually eat the strange stones here. When Li Qingyun just landed, he saw a white stone on a dry ground. He had seen this stone at Wang Ruhai's banquet. It was called Meteor Mother and was a common refining material. However, Li Qingyun had just picked up the stone, and the Ghost Spirit Pearl, which was absorbing the miasma around it, suddenly absorbed the Meteor Mother as if it was taking something away. At this time, Li Qingyun fell into deep thought. He knew that the Ghost Spirit Pearl had an extraordinary origin, and after he inscribed the 6 paths, he had some special abilities. However, the things that the Ghost Spirit Pearl had absorbed before were all things containing ghost energy, such as the 10,000 soul pill. Now, the Ghost Spirit Pearl actually absorbed the miasma and the strange stones in Yunmengs. Could it be that the miasma and the strange stones are related to ghost energy? Li Qingyun shook his head and looked at the sky at the junction of the sky and the horizon. Whether it was the Ghost Pearl, Yunmengs, or the ghost energy, or the underworld, I knew too little about it, so I had better not speculate. Let's find a way to complete the progress of the snatch first. Since the start of the second stage, almost 7 or 8 trialists have been acting together, leaving 2 people to stand guard, and the others are concentrating on the action, obviously frightened by the act of knocking the club. But in Li Qingyun's eyes, these trialists, no matter how many people are on guard, if he wants to take action, it is almost no difficulty, but even more convenient. This reminded Li Qingyun. Suddenly, a familiar scream came from behind him. "Brother, help me!" Let him lie on a dry stone, holding the huge leopard head of Lingyan leopard, depressed to death. In the first stage, he and Li Qingyun teamed up and encountered rare natural treasures and exotic animals. He thought he had changed his luck, but he didn't expect. The second stage has been going on for nearly 5 hours, and he hasn't encountered even a piece of strange stone, and even used up 3 qi-avoiding pills in vain. Ren Yu pulled Ling Yanbao's ear and asked, "Xiao Jin, do you think my luck was brought by that bastard? Without him, I'd still be the same as before, and I can't even find a hair." That the golden and majestic Ling Yanbao had signed a master recognition contract with Ren Yu. At this time, he and Ren Yu were in tune with each other. He glanced at Ren Yu with his leopard eyes and roared softly. "What do you mean I don't know anything?" "Of course I do." Ren Yu jumped up and down. This leopard dared to laugh at him. "Roar!" Ling Yanbao roared twice again. Ren Yu said, "Brother, I am a man of blood. How can I have the nerve to go to him? Even if I get nothing and get chased by others, I will never go to that bastard." Roar! Ling Yanbao responded briefly and ignored Ren Yu. Ren Yu suddenly felt something was wrong. From just now, the low bushes near him that were rustling in the wind suddenly stopped making any sound. Could it be? "Run! Xiao Jin!" Suddenly, Ren Yu's hair stood up and he jumped on Ling Yanbao's back. he felt 3 breaths, from the 3 repeaters. These 3 people came to take revenge. He had robbed the Ling Yanbao that they had been planning for a long time. How could they let it go? 3 repeaters, he was definitely not their opponent, so he could only run. The 3 people were also surprised to see that Ren Yu chose to run away directly, but then the 3 of them looked determined and chose to follow Ren Yu and chase him. Ren Yu screamed, 3 of you. So many of you didn't catch up with me, and now 3 of you definitely can't catch up with me, spare me. Ren Yu found that since he entered Yunmeng's, the pursuit seemed to have never stopped. In just 1 or 2 days, this was the 3rd time he was chased. Hu Liang said, I didn't catch up with you last time because I was not prepared. Just now, I not only exchanged some air-avoiding pills in the Zhugongdao Chamber of Commerce, but also bought one. Fengxing pill. Ren Yu. The Fengxing pill is a kind of pill that can increase the speed of a cultivator's escape in a short time. It is extremely precious. Hu Liang has this Fengxing pill and it is very likely that he will catch up with Ren Yu in a short time. You have spent so much money to chase me, and you want to catch up with me so much. Hu Liang threw the Fengxing pill and said, today, I must catch up with you. Ren Yu screamed, ah. Even if you catch me by force, it's useless. I don't like men. Hu Liang was stunned for a moment, then angrily said, asshole. You dare to be smooth-talking when you are about to die. He accelerated rapidly, quickly closing the distance between him and Ren Yu. Ren Yu was very anxious, jumped off the Lingjianbao, put the Lingjianbao back into the storage space, and then let out a strange cry of ah, and his speed also increased to a level, but it was still slightly slower than Hu Liang, and the distance was still shrinking. Honestly, Hu Liang, you spent so much money to chase me, what is your plan? Ren Yu talked to Hu Liang again, trying to persuade Hu Liang. Hu Liang smiled and said, this is all thanks to you. Thanks to you for robbing so many people in the first stage, you reminded me that you can quickly accumulate resources by robbing others. It is much more efficient to directly rob others' achievements than to work hard to find opportunities. I think although you have bad luck, you must have accumulated a lot of good things over the years. Ren Yu exclaimed, Hu Liang, you looked very honest before, why are you so mean now? You actually want to rob your brothers. I only robbed the qi-avoiding pill before. That's because you are stupid. Hu Liang said, in the secret realm, even if you robbed all the property of those weak people, the 9 palaces Taoist elder would not say anything. Now, let me do what you dare not do. It's terrible. Ren Yu thought to himself. After the 3 repeaters were beaten by that guy, they seemed to have suddenly become enlightened. They were originally honest, but now they have become crazy people who want to rob. Moreover, at this speed, he would be caught up by Hu Liang who used the wind speed pill sooner or later. By then, Ren Yu didn't believe that Hu Liang would be as kind as that guy, and his family assets accumulated for so many years might really be robbed. At this moment, Ren Yu looked forward and suddenly saw a familiar figure. It's that guy. Ren Yu took a deep breath and used all his strength to let out a very personal and bloody scream. Brother! Help me! Chapter 99 Storm. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Fellow Daoist in front, please help me. If you catch the thief Ren Yu, I will definitely reward you handsomely. Hu Liang saw Ren Yu calling for help from Li Qingyun, and couldn't help but persuade him. Google search reading. Brother, don't listen to his nonsense. He is the robber now. He wants to take away all my belongings. Ren Yu screamed and continued to rush towards Li Qingyun. Li Qingyun raised his eyebrows slightly when he heard this. Even this seemingly honest repeater started to rob. But he didn't turn his head, as if he was observing something. Hu Liang's speed increased again, and the distance between him and Ren Yu narrowed again. He was about to catch up with Ren Yu, but Li Qingyun was not moved at all. He didn't mean to make a move, and didn't even mean to turn his head. Ren Yu was anxious. Hurry up, brother. Hu Liang was overjoyed, and his speed could not help but increase a few points. As long as he burst out his speed again, he would definitely catch Ren Yu. Thinking of this, Hu Liang burst out his spiritual power again and approached Ren Yu. Seeing Hu Liang chasing him, Ren Yu also used all his strength, bursting out spiritual power, his face flushed, and screaming something at Li Qingyun in a ghostly and wolf-like manner. Li Qingyun still did not move, but Ren Yu and Hu Liang suddenly stopped, or rather, they froze in place. Ren Yu, Hu Liang, and the two repeaters, who followed closely behind, all froze in place. A strange sound came from a distance. The sound was like someone knocking slowly on an old wooden door. The sound was slow and clear, dull and crisp. Boom, 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 boom. Hu Liang looked at the sky and swallowed hard. Is this miasma? Ren Yu's face turned pale at this time. Should be right? That there was a yellow belt at the junction of the sky and the horizon, and the belt kept shaking, and as the belt shook, the boom sound like knocking on the door would sound. In other words, this belt-like thing is moving quickly from a far distance, and this terrifying sound is made by its movement. Li Qingyun has been paying attention to this direction, and he has already discovered this belt. Extreme fear enveloped Ren Yu, and he quickly ran to Li Qingyun and asked Li Qingyun, "You have already discovered this thing, right?" Li Qingyun nodded. This time, the miasma is estimated to be hundreds of feet high. How is it possible? Ren Yu lost his voice and said, "The last time I caught Lingyan leopard, the largest miasma I have ever seen was only a few dozen feet high. Hundreds of feet high. How is it possible?" Hu Liang also rushed to Li Qingyun, and at this time he had a face full of cold sweat. In the foundation building trial, the miasma will not exceed 100 feet. Miasma over 100 feet is called a miasma storm, but he obviously knew something that Li Qingyun didn't know, and his face was full of disbelief and he couldn't speak. Ren Yu anxiously said, But what? You tell me," Hu Liang said, "but miasma storms have only appeared a few times in the history of Jindan stage trials. How could they appear in the foundation building stage trials?" Li Qingyun looked at the gradually growing belt on the horizon, squinting his eyes. "Is the direction of the source of this storm the Jindan stage trial area?" Hu Liang was stunned for a moment, his eyes widened. "Really? You mean, this storm ran from the Jindan stage trial area to us? But this situation has never happened before. How could the elders of my Jiugong Dao allow this to happen?" Hu Liang couldn't accept it for a while. Li Qingyun said with a half-smile, "Maybe it was arranged by your elders. They may not be good people." The elders of the 9 palaces who were watching Li Qingyun. The black-bearded Taoist who was called Palace Master Ren laughed loudly. "This kid, I like him more and more." The young girl behind Palace Master Ren said, "Palace Master Ren, but you put such a powerful beast in the trial of the foundation building area, aren't you afraid of causing a commotion?" The young girl's tone was impolite, even blaming, but Palace Master Ren did not blame the girl at all. He was so angry that he even replied with some pride. But I just want to cause a commotion." The young girl was stunned and said, But if you do this, most of the trial participants will not get anything." Palace Master Ren said, "Okay, Yaoer, you still don't see it. In the situation just now, even if Dad doesn't let this monster enter the foundation building trial area, these weaker trial participants will get nothing. Look at how many people Sun Tianyuan has robbed." The young girl snorted and didn't say anything, obviously agreeing with Palace Master Ren's statement. The miasma storm was getting closer and closer to Li Qingyun and the others. It could be clearly seen that this powerful storm was so high that it rushed straight into the sky and was extremely powerful, constantly rolling up the surrounding objects. The storm was still some distance away from the few people, but the few people standing in front of the huge storm seemed like a few tiny dust particles. Ren Yu sighed and said, "Those who are not strong enough will be eliminated after the storm passes without any escape route." Li Qingyun said, "I guess these people were eliminated before they even saw the storm." Ren shook his head and said, "It's only been 5 hours, so we won't eliminate too many people." Li Qingyun pointed at Hu Liang and said, "Even this dear friend just had the idea of robbing you. Do you think others can resist robbing you?" Ren was stunned for a moment and said, "Yes, he is so honest, he even had the idea of robbing me. It seems that others have already started. At that hour, the number of people I met was more than 70% less than at the beginning. Doesn't that mean 70% of the people have been eliminated?" Ren said in shock. Hu Liang was silent. Li Qingyun said, yes, this dear friend is actually considered soft-hearted. He only took action after 5 hours, and the target was this difficult thing. Ren said, it seems that I am quite kind. I never had any thoughts of robbing from the beginning to the end. TCH. Hu Liang snorted disdainfully behind Ren. Ren said, what? Are you not convinced? Your Fengxing Dan time has passed, and I am not afraid of you. Hu Liang sneered, a rat who only knows how to run away. Ren Dei Lingran said, okay, then I won't run away today, you and I will fight to the death here. Hu Liang said, okay. You have the backbone. Then I will sacrifice my life to accompany you. Li Qingyun quickly grabbed the two of them. No, the storm is coming, you two should leave quickly. The two of them said in unison, okay. Li Qingyun. Chapter 100, Plan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yunmeng's, somewhere in the Foundation building trial area, Yi Fenyu looked at a black-haired man helplessly at this time. Brother son, is it really okay for us to do this? The black-haired man was of medium height, but his body was extremely strong, as if he had explosive power. His black hair was loose, and coupled with his dark clothes, he looked gloomy. Under the black hair were a pair of thin and long eyes, full of indifference and dullness. This person was Sun Tianyuan, who ranked second on the Foundation building list, and was also the eldest brother of the Demon Abyss Palace on this trip. Sun Tianyuan said casually, Fengyu, do you still remember what Master said before leaving? Yi Fengyu said respectfully, Master told us before entering the secret realm that some things in the secret realm should be done to enhance our own strength. Sun Tianyuan put on the storage ring he had sorted out. Isn't this done to enhance our own strength? Just robbing some weak people of their elixirs. Have you forgotten the purpose of our Demon Abyss Palace? Fengyu dare not. Yi Fengyu lowered his head. Thank you for your teachings, senior brother. It doesn't matter. Sun Tianyuan said indifferently with a blank expression. Fengyu was also a little helpless. Although senior brother Sun was powerful, he was always so arrogant and expressionless on his face, just like a paralyzed face. Suddenly, Sun Tianyuan looked into the distance, and his originally calm eyes brightened. He was excited. Yi Fengyu saw that Sun Tianyuan's expression had changed, and hurriedly followed Sun Tianyuan's gaze to look into the distance. Is this a miasma storm? Haha, interesting. Another place in the trial area, a beast of the animal type, which is more than 10 feet tall, lies on the ground, dying. If someone is here, they will be very surprised, because in general, the stronger the beast, the larger the size, just like the demon beast, and this beast is more than 10 feet tall, and its strength is at least in the late Jindan stage, but now it has been killed by a bald Taoist priest in a robe. The bald man has a serious face, yes, a serious face, with dull eyes, as if thinking and dazed, giving people a dull feeling. His lips are very thick, and sometimes he purses his lips tightly, giving people a serious and honest feeling. No matter who sees him here, they can feel that he is the kind of honest man who practices hard and wholeheartedly. However, he just killed a beast of at least the late Jindan stage easily. At this time, the bald man was not in a hurry to take back the monster materials, but looked at the storm in the sky seriously, pursed his thick lips, and murmured seriously, I didn't expect that I would catch up with this kind of thing. With my level of entering Yunmeng's 3 times, I should be able to get enough air-avoiding pills this time. At the same time, Li Qingyun watched the miasma storm getting farther and farther away, and more things were swept into the storm, but nothing was thrown out. Could it be? Li Qingyun was suddenly excited and pinched Renyu's thigh tightly. Renyu screamed. What are you doing? Li Qingyun said. I want to do a big one. Renyu asked, what big one? Tell me, who has the most air-avoiding pills in his hands now? Renyu said, it's probably Sun Tianyuan, the group of people in the Demon Abyss Palace who are the most unethical. Li Qingyun shook his head, no. Renyu said, is that the real person Hunyuan? But I heard that this gentleman is very cold and rarely attacks people of the same level. It's very arrogant to say so, because he thinks that no one of the same level can be his opponent. Just now, Didn't Hu Liang and the other three receive the signal from this Xuanhuan and go to meet up with Xuanhuan? Seeing Hu Liang's cowardly character, Xuanhuan probably won't be too fierce. Not yet. Li Qingyun shook his head again. Who is that? Could it be you? Ren Yu asked in confusion. Li Qingyun pointed to the miasma storm in the distance. Everything was swept in, but not a single stone was spit out. Ren Yu widened his eyes. Are you crazy? Li Qingyun said. Think about it again. The storm rushed over from the Jindan area. Will it sweep in the Jindan period strongmen? Ren Yu was speechless. You are really a lunatic. Li Qingyun said, I guess I'm not the only one who wants to fight this storm. The sky was still dark, and only near the storm was there such a deep darkness that covered the sky and the sun. The storm rushed forward all the way, and it was expected that it would hit the highest mountain in the foundation building area in half an hour. At that time, it would be the best time to take action. But, this storm is hundreds of feet high, and it is very likely to be a very high-level beast. Li Qingyun said, it doesn't matter. Anyway, it is almost impossible to win against a beast that is higher than the nascent soul. No matter how high the level is, there is no difference in essence. And as long as you can grab a part of it, you will make a lot of money. Ren Yu, why are you like a bandit? Li Qingyun smiled and looked at Ren Yu, wondering, what did you say just now? I didn't hear it clearly. Ren Yu, nothing. The two of them pinched their fingers and chased after the storm, but at this time, 7 escape lights suddenly appeared behind the two of them. It's the people of the Demon Abyss Palace. Ren Yu said. 7 people. The leader is Sun Tianyuan. I see. The two chatted casually. Suddenly, the 7 people behind him accelerated suddenly, and they were ready to surpass Li Qingyun and the others in one go. Ren Yu laughed and said, they want to compete with us. Li Qingyun said, what competition? Ren Yu said, we have been chased recently. Brothers have improved a lot in the realm of escape. This time I promise to make them angry to death. You are not slow either. They will definitely not catch up with us. They are like children, fighting for strength and fierceness. If they want to come, just let them pass. Li Qingyun said. He didn't want to expose his strength at this time. Keeping a low profile is the best strategy. Oh. Ren Yu answered, and he and Li Qingyun slowed down together, letting the 7 people from the Demon Abyss Palace behind pass first. The people from the Demon Abyss Palace were not polite either. With the sound of breaking through the air, they arrogantly passed by Li Qingyun and the others. However, at the moment when they passed Li Qingyun and the other two, a voice was left behind with the wind. 2 useless people, without strength, dare to watch the miasma storm. Probably they will not know how they died. How dare he call you useless? Li Qingyun and Ren Yu pointed at each other and said almost in unison. Li Qingyun coughed dryly. You just said that you can piss them off to death. Is that true? Ren Yu said, it can piss them off to death, but if you are such a talkative person, if you are willing to say more, you can almost piss them off to death.